Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Travis back again with another review here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at another Cyclops. Well, I guess the only Cyclops I have on my channel. But it's interesting. There's a big reason why I'm showing this packaging in particular, because we have this picture here. That's not this. Why do you have this picture here of this head, but no head like that in the box? That's not in here. They could have put it in there. They just had to make a new head sculpt. They basically, all they did was remold the previous Cyclops heads. They could have thrown another head in there. I'm just saying, don't put the picture on there unless you're actually going to have the head to match this picture. So that's kind of upsetting. Kind of the same way with these boots too. I can see inside his package, he doesn't have those boots on. At least he doesn't have that part of the boots on those boots. So be consistent. Be consistent. That's all I'm saying, Mafex. Be consistent. If you're gonna have a head, if you're gonna have this picture of him on the box, have a representation of this guy in this box. Anyway, that's the front of the box. Here's the side of the box. Here is the top of the box. Here's the side of the box. Here is the back of the box. Top of the box, they have, what's funny is they have the old head. This is the Jim Lee Cyclops head. This, or not the Jim Lee, this is like the cartoon blue and yellow Cyclops head. It's not this head. So why do they have this head on the box? This head doesn't come in here. That's not this head. That's not that head. Yeah. So it's a little ridiculous. They kind of try to make this head look like that head, but it's not the same head, and we all know it. Same thing with this one. That's the blue and yellow suit. But yeah, and then we got the bottom of the box. My box came jacked up. I mean, thanks, FedEx. I can only blame FedEx for this because they clearly dropped my box, threw it around. Probably because they couldn't. I had like 35 figures in it and weighed like 50 pounds. They probably had some weak ass cat carrying it. So yeah. But this is number 173. But anyway, let's get him out the box and take a better. All right, so here he is out of his packaging, and I just want to do a quick comparison to the previous Cyclops, and let's just see if we have any reuse here. Let me see. The visors are painted differently, so that's not necessarily. I think the visors are exactly the same. Let me see. I don't have the same head sculpt on him. Let me go grab that other head and just see if it's the same. It looks like this is a new head sculpt for Cyclops, so that's good. So the head sculpt is new. It looks like all the head sculpts are different. It's definitely re-engineered in the shoulders here, because you can see he can get his arms straight down. This Cyclops cannot. They look just about the same height. This new one might be slightly taller, but that could just be due to this Cyclops not quite standing straight up and down. Let's see. I don't think it's a big enough difference to really tell. I think there's a good amount of reuse here, which is expected. I'm just glad they re-engineered these arms. Now, anyway, let's get closer to the figure so we can actually take a look at this one, because this is what we're doing the review for. He is very shiny. I don't know if that is true to the this version of him. But he is very shiny. I just wish they would have gave us the proper head sculpt. I mean, Mafex is pretty good when it comes to accessories most of the time. I'm really surprised they didn't give us that head sculpt. It basically is made to go with this costume, so super weird. So yeah, it's kind of odd they didn't give us that head, but yeah, I do like the shading, the blue shading. It seems slightly random in places. It's really heavy here on the chest. It's heavy on this side of the abdomen, but not so much on this side. It's really heavy on the butterfly joints here, but not much on the shoulders, and not as much on the shoulders. It's kind of random here on the arms. It's kind of random on the arms. I like the back. The back looks pretty good. I think they got it pretty even for the legs. We'll talk about that later. The shading is decent. Yeah, I mean, the shading is good in some places, not that great in other places. It's a little rough in some places. Again, you expect it to be better considering how much you pay for these. I'm going to keep saying that every single time. When we get to the articulation, we will talk about these ankles and this knee in particular, but let's go ahead and get into the accessories. So starting off, we have the pointing hands. So that's good. He has a pair of pointing hands. I like the paint on them. They also have some slight shading to them. If you can see that, they have little blue shading on them. We have the visor but like when he puts his hands to his temple to shoot. You have those. Those also have blue shading in them, or we can just call them instant transmission fingers. How about that? And then we have the open hands, and these could be used to also put them up to his visors, or just resting to the side. But these are a pair of open hands. We have his little down cowl, so when he has his his head's on without the mask, that will go around his neck. We have this visor piece, which is similar to what came with the previous Cyclops, but it was on the other side. And I will say it would seem that they made this a bit more sturdy. The insert piece that goes into the visor is a lot thicker. I would still advise to be very careful with it. I ended up popping mine off of my original Cyclops, and luckily it did just kind of come out. It didn't snap out, so I was able to super glue it back into the hole. So if you do have that problem, if you're brave enough, you can kind of pull this out and see if you can super glue it back in. I'm pretty sure it's already super glued in, but if it does pop out over time, which it might, you can always super glue that back in. But I do like this effect. I liked it on the first one, and I like it a lot on this one as well. Just be careful with that. And then we have two accessories that are exactly the same as the previous one. We have the two blast effects that he had on the last version of Cyclops. They were exactly the same. Just a wide open blast and then a much thinner type of blast. It's painted the exact same from that white to that red translucent plastic. So they're fine. I mean, they're the same. And then we have two head sculpts. We have this first one here, which is the head that's his serious face. It's painted really nicely. This one I'm not having any issues with. You might see some mold lines, but that's about it. I like it. I like the way his hair is painted. I like the sculpt in his hair. And all in all, I think it's painted really nicely. Then we have another Cyclops with the glasses on, but this time he has the gritting teeth. This one's a little roughly painted. You can kind of see the back of the ear. You can kind of see the flesh color at the bottom there. It's not as painted. It's not painted as well as the other ones, but if you're just looking at it front, like right on, if you're just looking at it right on, I think you won't have to worry about anything. It looks good. It looks good. So yeah, and that is it for accessories. I think that's enough. I think that's enough for Cyclops. I can't imagine him needing anything else. So moving on to articulation. For some reason, my neck joint is stuck inside of the head. I tried to pull it out with some pliers and I was not able to do it. And so it is a lot harder to pop that back in if you're using it from the neck joint. But he can look up that much. He can look down, not much with just the head, just the ball joint in the head, but with the neck, he can look down all the way to the chest. He does have some side to side. Let's see. There we go. Didn't have full focus there. Shoulder joints can go up all the way. So that's really good. Typical Mafex articulation here. Bicep swivel. I do want to mention none of the QC issues that I had with the previous versions of these figures, like the Wolverine and this Cyclops I have here. Like the Wolverine had an issue with the arm popping out. The yellow costume Wolverine, everybody knew that his arm always popped out, his bicep always popped out. I fixed mine with a little super glue, but I did have that issue. I don't have it with the previous or the new Wolverine, and I don't have that issue with this Cyclops. So that's good. Everything is pretty much standard on his arms. Let's see with this chest. He can go back. Let's go back that far. We got a little gapping there. He can move forward that far. It's not too bad. He does get some side to side. That's pretty good. The butterfly joints, again, I feel like they work a lot better with this version than they did with the previous version. If you can get these joints to work, he can bump his own fist. I know I haven't been doing this, but he can go all the way around. A lot of times these joints are super tight, and I don't want to push it too far because I am just pulling these out of the box. I am literally opening them and then reviewing them. The waist joint, you do get twists. That one popped out. You get a little twist here at the top. You get most of the twist down here at the bottom. If you use that waist joint, you can get the full crunch and the full arc back. Because he doesn't have a belt, you are going to see the gap in the lower joint. As far as his thigh swivels, it's better than most, I would say. Still not great. Now, this knee is very loose. It's not loose all the way, like it's tight here, but when you get to about right there, straighten it out. When you get to about right there, it's super loose, which this is about where the pivot would be for if you wanted him to stand straight up and down. So it's kind of difficult to get him to stand straight up and down because he's going to want to do this. It's always, he keeps doing that. This knee is very loose. This one, not so much. As you can see, it's a bit more stiff. Yes, because it's using, now see how I can hold that with this knee? I can't do that with this one. I can hold it. I can try to pull him all the way up. He's falling back every single time. This one, if it's straight, I can hold him. This knee is jacked up on this one. Their ankles are super loose. Up and down are good. You can twist it for an ankle rocker. And he has a tight toe joint, but these ankles are super duper loose. So he's relatively difficult to stand. I don't know if that's an issue, if that's going to be an issue with everybody's figure, but leave a comment if you have the same issue. If you can see me try to pose him right now, of course he's going to stand now. Of course he's going to listen now. But prior to this, I was having some issues getting him to properly stand. But just be warned that that right knee and just the ankles in general are pretty weak. Oh, well, there you go. So let's go ahead and do some comparisons. If I can get him to, just to recap, there he is with himself. They are the basic same size. Here he is, damn it. Here he is with Mafex Gambit. You forget Gambit to stand. So Gambit is taller than both of them, of course, just to be expected. And I'm dropping stuff all over the place. Try to get his stuff out the way. All right, that's those two guys. Let's see, what else do I have over here? Here he is with the Age of Apocalypse Magneto. Magneto slightly taller than him. Here he is with regular Deadpool. Deadpool is also slightly taller than him. I don't know if that's accurate, but my perspective, my camera perspective is looking down on them a little bit. So, but they are, he's not as tall as he looks on camera. He's only slightly taller. He's only slightly taller. They seem to be towering over him on the camera, but it's not quite right. What else do we have here? Here he is with it turns out there's no honor among that. The and especially not between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lee Wolverine, and we'll get him next to the X-Force Wolverine as well. So there's that comparison. Let's see what else. Well, is that all for Mafex? Here he is with Mafex Psylocke, the best Psylocke And we'll pose him next to one more chick. Here he is with Mafex, Harley Quinn. And Harley Quinn is pretty tall, to be honest with you. I didn't even notice that she was that tall. So that's those two. Here he is with Gwenpool. Probably should have had her next to Deadpool, but I didn't. I hadn't grabbed her at that point. And here he is next to Hush Catwoman. So Catwoman is pretty tall. Let's see what else. Get these two out of the way. Here he is next to two NECA figures. Here's the NECA Leonardo for the movie, and here he is next to the NECA Metalhead. Obviously, they are larger figures from different lines. I should have did like a couple Marvel Legends. Here he is next to Marvel Legends Rogue. And he's probably taller than Rogue. I like that. Here he is next to, I'll go ahead and straighten him out so we can get a better perspective of how tall he would be with a Marvel Legends male figure, even though I don't think he's any way standard, because he's actually good. Most Marvel Legends aren't. And next to Marvel Legends Nightcrawler. So there he is next to him. Nightcrawler is about the same height. So that's good. They look pretty good together. I do like that. What else? Here he is next to a Sentinel Peter B. Parker. And here he is next to SH Figure Arts Gogeta. Gogeta is technically shorter than him despite the hair. So there that is. Who else do I have? And here he is next to whatever this character is called. I don't remember because I don't have the box sitting next to me. And here he is next to Ryuko Matoi from Kill La Kill. So Figma and whatever line this is from. So he's taller than that. And I think that's it for comparisons. So with that being said, I like this figure, obviously. I typically like most Mafex that I buy. It's the reason why I buy them. He is still available in Hobby Link Japan if you want to get him. He's definitely not necessary if you already have the previous Cyclops, unless you're building this team. I don't know what team this is from. It just says comic version on the box. So I don't know what this costume is from. I think this is still a Jim Lee costume, I think. Yeah, the box doesn't mention what team he was on when he had this costume on. But I like it. I think it's great. And I definitely think you should snatch them up if you want to. With that being said, please comment, like, and subscribe. Be safe. And until next time, peace.